Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another brand new episode of System Link. As always, I'm joined by my ever loyal, reliable I fucked up the intro and I was so confident. Mike, good evening. My ever loyal and confident? I don't know.
I wouldn't go that far.
I think, honestly, we should just call it. just wrap
I'm
this
good,
up.
yeah. Been out and about this week, but nothing compared to your week. So, yeah, it's a big one with Call of Duty dropping. So, looking forward to
yeah, we're going to be playing that tonight, which will be really great fun. We're going to save our impressions for some live gameplay later tonight at the end of System Link. Good evening, Plug Socket, Hope, and Big Manny in the chat. Good to see you guys all in. I hope you're having a good week so far. We've got a bunch of things we're going to be covering tonight. We're going to kick off with our headlines, starting with Dragon Age the Veilguard, due to drop tomorrow. Finally coming out after an extended dev period. I feel like it was one of those games that was announced so early. We've known about it for a while. BioWare coming off of a 1-2 punch of misses, seeing both Anthem and Mass Effect Andromeda not hit in the way they intended. So a lot was riding on this, I think, given we've seen similarly sized studios that you'd think are safe be given the chop. The one that still stings is Volition. Still can't believe that studio doesn't exist anymore. 30-year pedigree. So I think there's a lot riding on this. And the critical response, generally speaking, has been really, really positive. I've seen lots of positive sentiment as well online. There is, as we've already discussed on a previous System Link, there is the sort of ongoing discourse about its focus on gender identity and some sort of maybe a loud subset feeling that they're being lectured at. Personally, I have no issue with it, and Dragon Age has always dabbled with those things across their character relationships and their storylines in prior games. It's actually, in some instances where I have seen some clips, some of the writing is a little clunky. I don't think that's actually down to the voice actors or their performances. Some of the writing was a bit heavy-handed, kind of reminded me a bit of Star Trek Discovery, how they sort of perhaps a little bit sort of hit you over the head with some of those issues. But for the most part, it seems to be that the sentiment is really positive. Was that a fair assessment, do you think, or have you seen sort of anything contradicting that?
No, I think that's fair. I think, as usual, it depends where you look. But I mean, I think it's 85 Metacritic at the moment, which is pretty great, considering the difficulties BioWare have been through. I've seen some stuff about places that had potentially given it slightly negative previews that haven't been given review code. There's a bit of discourse about that, but it's very hard to tell if that's genuine or if it's just that anti-woke kind of segment that's trying to just be negative about the game for the sake of it. So, because is it out tomorrow?
Yes, out tomorrow.
Yeah, so I think it's difficult until we kind of see user reviews and maybe the publications that haven't had a chance to review it because they weren't sent it, which we're seeing more and more. I think Starfield as well was kind of selectively given out, and obviously it wasn't given out until launch day as well. At least Dragon Age has had a bit of a decent
window
lead time with the embargo,
which traditionally indicates confidence either from the devs, publishers, or both, right? Where they look at the game and think, well, actually, Space Marine was the same. We had a 3-week lead time on that for review, which was, for a game that had been delayed so much, I wasn't expecting actually to get that particularly early. But actually, that again showed the confidence that Saber had in it.
And I think we could tell from the gameplay. They showed something we say a lot of the time is we want to see like 10 minutes of gameplay unedited, and we've seen that. We've seen a few of those examples.
Yeah.
Some big previews that do suggest they're confident in the game, and it looks pretty good in the previews. I've seen some reviews saying that if you're new to the series, it's a good place to come in. If you're kind of looking back to Dragon Age Origins with rose-tinted spectacles, then you're possibly still going to be a bit disappointed if you didn't like Dragon Age 2 and Dragon Age Inquisition. But I think it sounds like it's at the very least, if you're a fan of the series, it's going to be decent. If you're new to the series, like you, I think it seems like it's a good place to come in.
I'm looking at it
maybe a bit of caution until we get all the reviews.
Yeah, I mean, I'm certainly looking at it as a, it's a jumping off point for me for that series. I don't have any history with it at all. I've seen I saw some glowing comparisons to Mass Effect 2, which is arguably for a lot of people the pinnacle of BioWare's work. The idea of that the companions have got really meaningful relationships and that you're able to have extended time with them. There's a lot of there was something that really made me sort of think, oh, this could be a winner, when I read in Eurogamer's review that there's certain sort of key moments in the game where your entire party is all together discussing either the current mission or what lies ahead, and there's that sense of it building a real team. That's something that the Mass Effect 2 Suicide Mission did such a good job of. You spent so long all together as an entire squad, and hopefully that is something that's evoked throughout the game. Also really positive to hear that people's average playtime is sort of between sort of 30 and 35 hours. That's achievable for me right now in my life. I feel like I wasn't in the market for another 80-hour epic. I'm ready for that. Plug Socket coming at us from Alton Towers. Big Manny recommending not to dox himself. That's brilliant. Topic currently, Plug Socket, is we're talking Dragon Age right now. Dragon Age the Veilguard, which is due to drop tomorrow. So are you planning on picking this up? Is it going to be a launch day for you, a sale purchase? What's the plan?
I think I will try to play Inquisition again.
Nice.
Because I don't think I gave it a fair chance, and then maybe I'll see how I feel after that, and also probably we'll just wait for a few more reviews. I'm not in a hurry, so I might just wait for the price to drop a bit.
Yeah, nice. Is Inquisition on EA Play?
I should hope. Yeah, I don't see why it wouldn't be.
Yeah,
I assume it is. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay, well, I suppose it makes.
I should have a copy of it anyway. But
yeah.
But you're getting it, I think.
Yes. So I'm going to be treating it like my PS5 Pro launch title. I'm gonna wait. I'm not gonna get it on day one. I'm not gonna play it yet. I'm gonna wait until next Thursday and have that as like a pre-ordered game. I'll pick it up on PS5 already, but have it installed and ready to play on the Pro on that launch day. So treating that like a sort of a launch title for that, because I'd seen sort of lots of really positive sentiment around the PC versions, but the console versions were a little bit soft graphically to get it running they've got a quality and a performance mode, which is great. So actually I would rather hold off now. If there is a sort of what you would consider a slightly more definitive version on console, I'm going to hold off on that and pick that up on the Pro. I think that's the intention.
Yeah.
But good. For all intents and purposes, I mean, for everything I've seen, I really like the sound of how this game has come together. The focus on the party and building those relationships, all that story content. The fact that it's a leaner title by modern RPG standards, is not like an 80-hour epic, and that the critical response has been largely positive. So I'm all in. Nice. Kicking off the show with some jolliness, and now going back to something that may have felt inevitable but still stings, is the closure of Firewalk Studios, and therefore the unequivocal bidding off of Concord. Now all that speculation around whether they were going to bring it back as a premium title, reboot it entirely, all of that can now be put to bed because that IP is dead and the studio is now closed. I really think it's a really tricky one, this, because the obvious position to hold would be, what a waste of talent, what a missed opportunity, and should they not be given another shot? All those arguments that you'd expect probably from both of us still stand. It does, I think, indicate a bigger issue, which is that I think Sony are pivoting away from their recent live service push. And I think we're going to see more of that. I'd be very worried if I worked at the Fair Game studio right now.
Jesus, yeah.
I would be very... So actually, for me, all of those things, that dev team deserved more time. They deserved another opportunity to work on something else, or to maybe even reboot the title. But in a broader sense, I think this is emblematic of Sony making a shift away from this very much in the last couple of years, because certainly the first 2 and a bit years of PS5 felt like a continuation of PS4. big exclusive single player titles, the things they were known for and the things that elevated the PS4 beyond its PS3 origins. So I do wonder now if, and this is obviously pure speculation at this point, but theme of this episode tonight, but I do think this may indicate a strategy rethink from Sony.
Yeah, I mean, it's been hinted at, or with cancellations and restructuring and things. I mean, you have to wonder if even Bungie is safe if they fuck up Marathon, because Destiny's kind of been flatlining, or had the strategy for Destiny's not been particularly clear. I wouldn't even, given the size of them, you'd hope that various people at Bungie have got enough finances to be able to rescue Bungie if something, if they could go independent again or something. But the real thing with me is someone at PlayStation played the game like a year ago. Obviously, they would have played it before that, but they played it a year ago and said, "This is fantastic. We want to acquire your studio. We want to talk about this game as if it's the next big thing and really hype it up." So whoever that is the problem. It's not Firewalk Studios for making an average or
derivative
game. Derivative game. It's whoever it was at Sony that bought them and decided to pin all their hopes on that.
Well, this would have been given the extended dev time. I saw this was a really interesting thing. I hate referencing things I've seen on Twitter if I can't reference the person. I don't genuinely remember who wrote this, but someone acknowledged the timescale of Concord's development, where they said that the two people that would have actioned this at every stage would have been Sean Layden, would have approved it when he was in charge of PlayStation. He's now retired from PlayStation, from there. He doesn't work for them anymore. And Herman Holst, who was not a shot caller at that point, he was only working for Guerrilla Studios, now the head of the co-chairman of the Sony group of PlayStation group for gaming, was the one to then bin it off. He wasn't actually in any way a shot caller when this would have been first approved. So it's a really strange arc that this game has gone on.
He was there for the acquisition, was he? Or because that was only a year,
he would have been,
April last year.
He would have been. Yeah. What a bizarre story. And that we're going to get an episode of Secret Level, that gaming show that's coming out on Prime, featuring Concord. I mean, does that go ahead? Surely, because they would have had to been working on that for a while.
Yeah, it's probably done, isn't it?
Because the lead time for animation is so huge, they would have to have had that in the bag, So, what a strange, sad, bizarre scenario that they found themselves in. Isn't it silly as well? And I've thinking about this post the shutdown of Concord. Very easy to sort of 2020 hindsight it, but you make a competent new IP that's mechanically sound and polished to the point of it meeting, you would argue, the first-party standards. It didn't look out of place in amongst Sony's release schedule, and that wasn't enough for that studio to survive. And that's, I mean, London studio was another recent high-profile closure from Sony with an enormous pedigree.
They've closed some big studios.
Yeah,
I'd say more than Microsoft. Well, maybe not since Arcane, but with Microsoft, we only really had Lionhead as like the big historical studio. That
London studio shutting down was crazy.
And when they shut, was it Sony Liverpool, the Wipeout studio?
Yes,
that was. Because I love Wipeout. I would have loved to see another Wipeout game.
Totally, really, and what an IP for them as well. That translated across their handhelds and their home consoles. I forget the team. It's whoever was behind, I want to say maybe it was Pixel Opus. I might have made up that developer name, but it was the team behind Concrete Genie. They'd worked on and they were working on a title as well. They were already in development on another exclusive, and they got shut down as well. There's just been huge cutbacks. The London studio one was really egregious to me.
I mean, it's hard with. Like Media Molecule, I'd say are somewhat at risk just because of how their IP has been treated, and Dreams wasn't given a fair crack. Really, came to PC too late. Obviously, they don't have I don't know. Maybe they do have the live service problem. They do rely on community more than It's not the traditional PlayStation IP, is it? Media Molecule.
And you're right. It's the difference between community and live service, both multiplayer, but user creation was always their angle with Little Big Planet, right? And that's very different to a seasonal live service, regularly updated game. It's, I think as well, beyond indicating a potential shift in their strategy, it also shows it reflects this sort of slightly risk-averse response that we're seeing from other publishers that maybe are unwilling to take a punt, or when they do, they then point to that game's failure as reason why they shouldn't then be investing and they should be doubling down. Look at Warner Brothers. Look at the way the Hogwarts Legacy came out, absolutely blew the pants out of the charts and did way bigger numbers than anyone could have expected. Suicide Squad from Rocksteady, which when you put those two things together should have been an absolute barnstormer, was forced into being a live service title, completely crashed, and then Warner Brothers' lesson from that, let's now double down on live service. I know it's a point we've discussed before, but it's relevant here. It shows, I think, an industry-wide shift, not only away from protecting developers and their careers, their livelihoods, but being generally more risk-averse. And that is certainly emblematic of this scenario.
Yeah, I mean, for me, if you're risk-averse, though, you don't greenlight spending 400 million, if that was the figure, on a new IP from a new studio. Because if that fails, you have this situation where you basically have to shut the studio, or move them into other teams. And what we were saying, I think last week, far better to do like the Helldivers model, where the first game's decent success, then you get a bit more budget to make a more ambitious game, Helldivers 2, which then goes crazy. So you think Helldivers 3 can then be proper AAA
top tier
game. But then if they fuck up Helldivers 3, that studio shouldn't close. It's not fair.
Absolutely.
You should get. I get Concord because they've made one game. It was 400 million potentially, and it failed. I can see why they may not get a second chance for that. But that's the problem, is that the game was greenlit from a new studio with that level of budget. They just shouldn't be doing that. They should start off small.
Well, that's
with a
exactly
small game.
right. And that, I still think the outcome of this proves is less going in, because I agree, you're going to put up the rumoured 200 million to 400 million spend. That's not an example of being risk averse. You're taking a huge punt on that, right? But I think not even allowing it to grow and develop, Rainbow Six Siege did not come out of the gate strong.
Well, we have X-Defiant, which is kind of the current example of a game that's performing badly and is currently still being
supported, right? So it's the idea that Sony were willing to open up the bank and spend all that money initially. The second it didn't land, plug pulled, studio done. And that
was horrifically fast, wasn't it? It's like
2 weeks.
Yeah.
That, to me, that's what I mean. There wasn't even the opportunity to try and fix. And they sort of, I think, again, the messaging around that, we're going to take a step back and rethink our approach to Concord and the IP, and they left it very ambiguous and open. Most reasonable people assumed it was never coming back, but there was sort of this very placating kind of language used to try and get people to think it was going to perhaps resurge one day and have a second shot. Giving those developers, those developers must have been doing like unpacks and trying to figure out.
Pitching things they could do to fix the game, and then
all the different business
have that strung out for.
It's now end of October. The game's been offline for nearly 6 weeks, so that would have been strung out for nearly 2 months. When then Sony decides that's a wrap, it's done. I don't know. Does it make more business sense if we take a slightly more callous view of this? Does it make better business sense to simply go, we need to cut our losses here. We've invested this much, and that was the outcome. So this is not the right place to continue putting our money.
I don't know how much they were required for. I don't know if that figure's publicly available or not. It may be, but if they weren't acquired, presumably the studio would have been fine. It's weird that someone at the studio presumably got quite a lot of money out of that deal, and just walked off into the sunset. Well, maybe they were still at the studio, but either way, they've done really well out of it. Everyone else it's been terrible, including Sony, because they've lost loads of money over it.
Well, yeah, you could argue that like I know Tango Gameworks has been rescued now by Krafton, but you could argue that studio, if they'd remained independent, would still be in operation in their original form. I think Volition would still exist if Embracer didn't own them. And that's really throws up this whole thing about acquisitions. The timing, the turnaround from acquisition to shutdown for this project was, I think, incredibly short. The huge layout, Bungie are not safe. You mentioned them earlier about, the stakes going in with Marathon. The fact that they're starting to, you notice they're suddenly out of nowhere started talking about it. It's almost like, no, it's coming. Playtest in 2025, because I think they need to get it out there to secure their future. They're not safe. They've had huge layoffs, right? And been restructured within Sony. So I don't even know what Bungie looks like right now within that organization, especially given that Marathon is a multi-platform release. It's going to be on Xbox as well, not just a PC situation. So it's a very, very strange time for a lot of these acquisitions, and I would be, even Toys for Bob, the weird divestiture from Xbox, they're now doing their own thing. They were going to be the golden goose, I thought, for their first party. So there's these acquisitions, I think, are just, it doesn't have the same excitement. Like, do you remember that E3 a few years ago when they rattled off Ninja Theory, Undead Labs, Playground Games? Playground Games was the big one for that. They went, no, we're going to own the Forza team, the Horizon team that work on this, and they're going to get to work. Well, we then subsequently found out on Fable. Compulsion Games, that was the same year they announced that whole run. Now South of Midnight, my most anticipated for 2025. I remember how exciting it was that Microsoft Double Fine, I think, may have even been that same year as well.
Yeah.
So exciting to have all those announcements in one hit. And now, every time I see an acquisition, all I'm thinking about is the subsequent press release of its shutdown.
Is that, so Double Fine, Compulsion, Undead Labs,
Playground.
Who was the first one?
Oh, no, Ninja Theory.
I'm Ninja Theory. So those four for me are not safe at all. If their next game, even Double Fine, who have a massive pedigree, I think Tim Schafer would save them. But in terms of like, they would end up as a massively different thing in Exile as well. The only ones for me that are safe really are the main Bethesda studios.
Yep.
Machine Games, I think, are probably quite safe.
Obsidian.
Playground, Obsidian.
I think Rare are safe, actually. I do think Rare are safe. I know I've changed my tune on that. A few system links ago, I was sort of worried about, even though they had a new barn, I was kind of like saying that seemed like they were on the bubble. The fact that Phil Spencer was tweeting about playing Everwild gave me more confidence that they exist. And Sea of Thieves is destroyed on PlayStation as well. So that's not only validated Satya's multi-platform strategy, but they've proven that game has lots of legs and it's going to continue on. So, I think Rare are fine. I really think Rare are okay. I'd be amazed and obviously appalled if Rare got shut down. I think I'd include them up there with Obsidian.
I just think, say they launched Everwild without doing what they did with Sea of Thieves, where they kind of drip fed it to the community and you could tell it was going to be decent. If they released Everwild and it bombed, like Concord, I don't know if the legacy of Sea of Thieves is enough to save, bearing in mind how long it's taken them to get Everwild to this point. And then you'd say, okay, Everwild didn't work, we're going to make another game, see you in 8 years. It's like, Sea of Thieves isn't going to be around, you wouldn't have thought, for 8
tougher
more
sell
years.
In that scenario. So I think this...
That was the Hi-Fi Rush thing, was Microsoft were like, okay, well, that Hi-Fi Rush has come out, when's our next return coming? From this studio, and it was a long way out. I think I'm being a bit silly about Rare, but just we've talked about Coalition and Obsidian and Playground. Those seem so safe just because of the amount of stuff they're putting out, or the kind of support they give to other teams.
Definitely from the Coalition. I think in that sense, the amount of guidance they've been giving on Unreal Engine, and also the quality of their output. I mean, that studio is
You also can't put price on. That's normally a good thing, but there isn't a revenue figure on how much the Coalition help other teams. So if it's like, we haven't made a game for 4 years, but we help everyone.
We are a fundamental aspect of the studio.
That doesn't help Satya, does it?
Yeah, exactly.
Get his massive fucking bonus.
Yeah. We're getting to that. That's on the list. But yeah, A very sort of, as always, a very sad scenario for those developers, and we hope obviously they land on their feet. But
a couple of hundred, wasn't it? I think.
yeah, it was. They weren't a small team by any stretch.
Yeah.
I would be very interested to see. I think PlayStation going into next year, we don't have a lot of clarity on what's coming. We know Insomniac are cooking up the Wolverine game. We don't have a huge amount of clarity on what is coming next for PlayStation. So going into next year will be very telling how much of a push Fair Games get, how we might suddenly see Naughty Dog reemerge, whatever Bend Studio are working on. There's a lot of unknowns there with their first party. I just hope very much that we see a return to the confidence in these teams that deserve, if they're going to get that kind of funding, they deserve the confidence to go with it. But we will see. That's definitely going to be one to check back in on. Also wanted to mention, this is a series obviously I'm not as connected to. Be interested to get your thoughts on this. Life is Strange 2 Double Exposure seems to be getting... it's actually not Life is Strange 2, is it? Sorry, it's Life is Strange Double Exposure. It seems to be getting really good critical notices, and has had some great responses so far. When is that one out? It's imminent, isn't it? If not already.
Oh, I think it might be out already. Yeah, or today or tomorrow. Yeah. But yeah, I think kind of mixed reviews. All kind of 7 or over. But I think there's a problem. I think you've had with Life is Strange is there's been no progression. Like with the Telltale games, there was no progression in graphical quality. They still look like the games from 10 years ago, very old fashioned, and being like walking simulators or point and click games. That's not really acceptable. So Double Exposure certainly looks a lot better, and a lot of the praise has been around how it looks and kind of definitely taken a leap forward. Some negativity about the storylines compared to the first game, which obviously the story was just incredible.
Different studio, right?
Yeah. But I think if you're a fan of the first game, it's definitely sounds like something to try. And apparently there's a 1 hour trial as well, which is really good. And that's, served them well. A traditional thing they do is have the first episode available for free, which obviously not being episodic, they can't do. But I think having a 1 hour trial, I'll definitely give it a go, and it will kind of be in competition for with Dragon Age probably for my Christmas game maybe. We'll
nice.
See, but yeah, looks good.
And I suppose also it's come up a couple of times tonight, this idea of publishers being risk averse. I don't think a game like Life is Strange should be expected to be a huge multi-million seller, and yet it was. Who's the publisher behind this? Is it Square Enix?
I think so. Still, yeah.
Which I historically have a very bad history of. Historically have a bad history. I just said it once already. They have a bad history of unrealistic expectations for a lot of their IP. They sort of look at everything like it should do Final Fantasy numbers, which is coming up again and again and again from them. Whether it was, oh man, what was that game? Foam something. Oh no.
Foam Stars.
Foam Stars. Thank you. Foam Stars. The Marvel Avengers game. Another one. It was just really, really insane expectations for something like that. And I hope this doesn't end up just getting binned off because it doesn't meet some arbitrary metric that they think it would be needed to be viable.
It's interesting to me that they even, because it doesn't feel like a Square Enix game. It's a bit weird that Square Enix even bother with something like Life is Strange. So hopefully the fact that they are kind of behind the series, and we've had a few Life is Strange games and spin-offs and things, so you would hope they've got a good idea of the numbers it's capable of doing, and that they wouldn't expect it to randomly like double the numbers. I'm sure the original Life is Strange did really good numbers by now over the course of time, but it's been given away for free. It's been in Game Pass. It's I think most people have played Life is Strange at some point.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be fair to compare it to those numbers, and also something that was released episodically and was a lot cheaper. But yeah, I don't know how it. So the sort of numbers this will get, I would not be very surprised to see it in Game Pass, given the Microsoft connection.
Well, and actually that's the kind of thing I think that would suit a game like this. Have it have a sort of budget price release, full price, not in a subservice, to then have like a 6 months later, have it then drop in. to get that second wind and also recoup some any remaining costs. It's why I'm surprised Alan Wake 2 hasn't found its way to Game Pass yet. Which would be huge. They have, of course, though, they did have that slightly wonky publishing route, which was that it was co-published by Epic Games, digital only initially, and I've just got my physical copy, actually. I've got my physical copy of Alan Wake,
nice.
Which is really cool, because I wanted to make sure I had that. And they, I think, perhaps would have been more open to it popping into Game Pass. I think if it had launched physically day one.
Yeah, well, it's an interesting one because I feel like I'll have to do an analysis piece on this. I feel like the third-party games have gone off a cliff a bit with Game Pass in terms of day one stuff, or like big, used to get like Red Dead and things coming into Game Pass, and I don't know what people will think of something, but I don't know what the last like huge game we had that. I've got no chance remembering the name. There's like a third-person action co-op game that was kind of double A that people were really hyped for.
Is it Atlas Fallen?
No, not Atlas Fallen. It was like Outriders or something like that.
Potentially. Square Enix again.
And well, that was the last one I remember where there was like hype around it coming
day one
to Game Pass. Yeah, day one. But we also haven't had stuff not day one that's like huge. Like
the last thing that really jumps to mind that was after Outriders would have been something like Sniper Elite 5. That came at the end of last year.
Yeah.
And that was
a good one.
That was a good one. And actually, I saw they're kicking off next year both of their upcoming games, both of Rebellion's. You've got Sniper Elite Resistance and Atomfall, the single-player FPS. Both of those are going to be day one Game Pass. So it's really nice to see Rebellion supporting that. We also do have precedent for Remedy supporting Game Pass. We've got FBC Firebreak coming up next year, their multiplayer game. Control Ultimate has actually gone into Game Pass twice. The original version of the game about a year later, and then its Ultimate Edition did day one in there as well, which was really cool. So there is precedent for Remedy supporting that. I agree with you though, and actually that's cooking up some Xbox Guide content live on the on System Link.
I think now they're confident in the first-party pipeline, we'll see less and less third-party stuff, which is presumably what they, part of the equation.
Yeah,
when they made the acquisitions.
Yeah, they've got a good legacy set of like PC games that are on in Game Pass, like having StarCraft in there now, like the older titles made sense. That's drip feeding that content. Having the three most recent Warzone, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops all go into Game Pass and with cloud streaming as well. Incidentally, by the way, just a quick aside on that, we will save it. Cloud streaming has definitely had an upgrade since the last time I played it. They've definitely worked on that for the latency, because that was always the issue with me, just the latency. But I was playing, my little one's been really poorly lately. I was playing Black Ops 6 on a Surface multiplayer, and it was working brilliant, way better than it ever used to. Multiplayer was always the thing I'd never touch because it was just dreadful, because it couldn't handle both the game stream and obviously being connected online. And for a Twitch shooter like COD to be that effective, I was playing on a controller, USB wired to a Surface Windows laptop, and it was excellent. Like, it was so much better than I tried Halo on it before, and it was dreadful. So that they've been cooking with that. So there is that drip feed.
Pretty good though, isn't it?
This was on my 4G on my phone. This was while I was out of the house, so
that's really good on mobile.
Yeah, it was,
I tried it at home on cloud because the update, the usual thing, where I'd install the game and then the update didn't update. So I played it on at home, and it was decent. Certainly, I was killing people. I wasn't feeling like I was doing bad because of the
which is always
latency or anything.
Yeah, and that's always been the takeaway for me, is that I feel like I was playing significantly worse because the latency was just making it untenable. It was actually, in interest of full disclosure, because I'm looking at my phone winking at me right now, it was on a 5G connection, so it was obviously faster. No, but it was still kind of mobile hotspot as well, so you're kind of relying on that, and it worked really well. So I
was playing on launch night and there was no queue either, which was interesting because I played a very obscure time. I can't remember what I played, Sea of Thieves or something, and there was a queue, and it was like 20-minute queue to play on cloud. So they've well, obviously anticipating high demand as you'd expect
Yes.
for the launch.
But at least they did, and it's often the case with Call of Duty. It has launched brilliantly. There's been no server issues. It seems there's some issues with spawning that I know that they're hot fixing right now. There's been a couple of patches for that, but it's come out of the gate really, really polished, and people seem to be really enjoying it. I know we are. We'll get to it. We'll save it. We'll be playing it live. Tonight we'll be playing some multiplayer. Might even play some zombies. Ooh, that might be interesting. Let's give it a go.
Yeah. Should you say so?
Yeah, no, just I don't know. It's the one bit I haven't played yet, so let's do it live. Our final sort of headline topic tonight, before we get to our deep dive, is on Satya, CEO of Microsoft, and his big old fat pay bump that he received recently. His compensation has gone up 68%, which is unbelievable. In the wake of 2,000 Microsoft employees being laid off early this year, there is always, I think, a side of this story, which is that, the people at that level, the stress and what is expected of them to deliver, the compensation then that they get then partially at least offsets that, because of you're beholden to shareholders. You are the guy at the top, that you are accountable for all of it. It's the sheer amount of the increase in his earning. A lot of it is in shares, so it's through investment that he's made. But still, a huge chunk of that is just a salary bump given to him at a time when the industry is frankly reeling from, and Microsoft are not immune to that, from these very sort of what seem to be very knee-jerk or very callous cost-cutting measures. It's played terribly, especially when they, at the same time he's giving statements about their strategy for games moving forward, how their multi-platform releases are still going to be a thing. I do think, quick segue on that though, before we get back to the compensation thing, the more and more I think about it, is that it just doesn't matter anymore. They want to make more money. They've got 69 billy on the line, right? They've got to get those Doshins back. Just release your games in other places, because you're going to make more money from that. Now, whether that then affects your console sales, of course it does. But they're in third anyway. So if they were the market leader for console sales, mental to go multi-platform. But they're not in the lead. They are significantly behind the other platforms. So it's not like they're doing anything. Their first party isn't moving the needle. So get it out there, baby. Just do it.
This isn't like a minor segue. This is
an entire episode. Yeah,
yeah, a complete
Absolutely.
change of opinion.
Yeah,
that needs full discussion.
Well, please, let's do it. Basically, Satya should be paid that much money. Cool. Let's segue into this now.
I just on that. I need to rethink about what I was going to say, since we
just fucked it up.
Yeah. I just, the problem is, if you fuck over the console base, Game Pass will never be on PlayStation. It will never be on Nintendo. Mm-hmm. So if you fuck over the console base, who are the core Game Pass audience? You're going to kill Game Pass. If you kill the Xbox console, I think you kill Game Pass, even if it's still on PC. Mm-hmm. Unless PC and Xbox do eventually become the same thing, which will happen at some point. So, although Game Pass is only, I think, like 20% of their gaming revenue, they would end up being a third-party publisher to the extent that they are only making games for PlayStation and Nintendo and PC, and there isn't an Xbox audience at all. There's not even an Xbox Game Pass audience, because they've killed it. So, and I can't see that happening. I don't think Microsoft have any interest in being that sort of company. It doesn't really fit with their ecosystem.
No, they're in a position now, I think, where the sort of, I see the rhetoric online about them, more Xbox games coming to PlayStation, and I do feel like, yeah, they will do that now, because it's when there's money to be made there. The console base is just not growing, and I don't know what Xbox can do now in terms of just hardware to move that. There's gonna be a core group that love it, the ones that buy into Game Pass, the ones that continue subscribing. So
there's stuff they if GTA was exclusive to Xbox, they would destroy PlayStation. That's a ridiculous example, because that would never happen. But right. that would, I don't think you could argue that wouldn't have a really
absolutely
huge, insane effect. So it is games that they need to
Yep.
shift consoles. There haven't been games. There've been no decent first party games on Xbox.
The
And
system
that's
sellers,
is.
and I suppose that's maybe what we need to look at then. It's separating this need for Xbox to be first in console sales from the notion of their exclusive suite not being strong enough to shift boxes, right? They're separate things, right?
I wonder if this is what it is. They're putting money into first party studios. They wait to see how the game's going to land, and if it's going to be like a system seller, then maybe they'll hang on to it. If it's going to be Sea of Thieves, which is like people aren't buying the console for, but it's a decent thing, then put it on PlayStation. Indiana Jones, I guess, maybe there's a thing with the licensing, but it'll be interesting to see. I don't know what it'll be. Fable, won't it? Fable will be the one because that looks like it could be a system seller. It could be like an exceptional game. We don't know if that comes out and is like 90 plus Metacritic, and then they put it on PlayStation. Then I think we can definitely say that it's a long-term strategy, and they don't give a shit about the Xbox.
Yeah, it's
console.
It's a Game Pass seller, much like I think Black Ops is going to be, given that its digital sales have still been really, its player numbers on Steam have been record-breaking, which is really interesting to see. So I think that's been proof that can work. I just don't think I don't buy into the narrative anymore that Xbox putting certain games on multi-platform is going to kill the brand. I don't believe that at all. I think if anything,
why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they just put everything on then? Why haven't they put everything on?
To preserve everything you just said, which is that the core audience is still there for Game Pass and they don't want to shoot themselves in the foot. That's why Halo isn't on PlayStation right now. That's why Gears of War is the red line, that we've heard mentioned before. I think there are some games, like Gears of War E-Day won't be on PlayStation 5. Lock it in.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that we'll carry on seeing like the odd first party title go to. But I don't think anyone's really surprised about that. If Saturn had come out and said, I'm going to say from here, no more first party games are going on PlayStation, that would have been like completely out of the blue thing to say. So it's not even newsworthy for him to say, yeah, we're going to carry on.
Yeah, I
mean, he kind of said we're going to increase. I think it was.
Yes.
I don't think he said increase.
Continue,
but
isn't it?
The suggestion was
continue
it was
publishing on
going to be more than just all games.
And I think it's the games that are sort of like partnership and licensed games. So like I think Blade would be a fair game to have an Indiana Jones kind of approach. I don't know if I buy into this. I don't buy into this narrative anymore that it's the death of the brand. I don't, because PlayStation are doing it on PC as well. Because that's the thing as well, is if it's purely in response to Xbox's position in the market, that they're then having to go multi-platform to make back their investment money, then why is PlayStation putting their games on PC? If strong exclusives are the thing that are driving them to the top of the market, why are they doing that? They're doing that because they want to make more money, and they're doing it selectively with certain games. Nintendo are the market leaders in console sales and don't touch PC. But if you just take PlayStation and Xbox, just as a comparison, PlayStation is 2-1 outselling Xbox this gen, and yet you are still now getting day-and-date games on another platform. So, which mandates a PSN account as well. So I don't buy it. I think it doesn't. No, but nobody has said, well, Helldivers 2 being on PC really dilutes the brand. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah, I do think PC is a special case, and I also, to the extent that I don't think the Nintendo audience and the PC audience overlap much at all.
Sure.
I'm sure if they released whatever Breath of the Wild on PC, it would do really well, but
sure.
I don't think most of their games would do.
I agree that there's not.
And also, I think porting from a Switch to a PC is probably a lot more difficult than porting.
I agree that there's potentially like
part of the reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, part of the reason we've seen this so much is just because the consoles are basically PCs. You've basically got the game running on a PC already. Yeah. They're developed on PCs. So why not just, you get an extra, 10 million, I don't know. You get more revenue, just put it on PC. Especially the way PlayStation do it is, in my opinion, the right way to do it for them. Multiplayer stuff is day one and everything else is later or as a remaster. But Xbox, is PC. They're the same thing. It's Microsoft. It's all the same ecosystem. So people shouldn't have been surprised when that
Yeah,
ended up
and they were the
happening.
ones that championed crossplay. Really, they were the console
Yeah,
platform that really pushed
it's a
for
good
that.
way of doing it.
Yeah, and so I
and on
but
Satya, like I agree. It's the amount of money. Also I'm sure he works hard. He does ridiculously long hours. His phone probably has to be always on. He wouldn't get downtime. But there's a lot of people in that situation. Some of them are basically getting minimum wage.
mhm.
So that isn't enough for me. I don't like to see individuals get in companies that they don't own.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough if you're Elon Musk and you're getting that amount of money from the various companies that you've got, but if you're CEO of a corporation,
You're in a
I
job
don't
role, not an ownership position.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
So that's
I know. I appreciate the share point, but his like you said, his salary on its own is insane.
just insanity.
Um,
So yeah, I think it's all relevant. I know we've segued, but it's all relevant to all of this. I think just. Oh, maybe part of my opinion has shifted here because of boredom. I'm bored of the conversation and the discourse around it. I find it very draining at times. It's why I'm really tempted to come off Twitter, because I just find all the console warring stuff very, very dull and repetitive. You can separate all of this logical discussion from also fair criticism of Microsoft's poor messaging. Be clear about what platforms you're releasing your games on so your audience can have expectations set appropriately. A lot of the negativity around these things is the rug pull feeling, is that suddenly Indiana Jones, in the way they reveal that PS5 port, was dreadful. Really shit on their previous efforts.
This is why I wonder if the reason they don't say when they announce the game is because they don't know how good the game's going to be. And then at a certain point in the game's development, they probably do know we've got a winner on our hands, or this is good, because they like with Redfall where they got it wrong and they thought it was going to be better than it was. They probably have a decent idea. Well, certainly they have a good idea now of what Indiana Jones is going to be like. Whether or not there was a licensing thing. So I think that's why they don't say it straight up, because if Microsoft had made Helldivers 2 or published Helldivers 2 and put it on PlayStation, and then it turned out to be the hit it is, I don't know if that would have been a good thing or a bad thing, really. Maybe they would have been better holding on to it. I don't think PlayStation would have. I think it was the right thing for them to put it on PC, but I think it all comes down to the quality or the saleability of the games, especially in relation to whether they can sell consoles.
Yeah, it doesn't, and I suppose if it's Xbox and PC only, it doesn't matter where people are choosing to get it. If Fable blows up because it's really well received, but ends up doing absolute barnstorming numbers on Steam, then they're still winning. That's still a great outcome for them. And those that are in the Xbox ecosystem on console would then have access to it probably via Game Pass. So again, it's a win for them. It's guaranteed revenue. I think, given the way I sort of sit with it now, is I don't see certain sort of big legacy IP, because don't forget, we haven't seen any hint of that. There's been no conversation around those big titles of like long story histories.
was rumored is the only
I
one.
never bought that. That's the one I did a wagging finger on that one and went, no way. That's no. And I'm hoping that I back myself up with that in a previous system link, but
No,
I
think you did.
I think that was an insider gaming bullshit. Just wild speculation.
I could see Forza Horizon makes a lot of sense to me to go to PlayStation at some point. I just think it would do really, really well. But it's still one of the most played Xbox. Possibly is the most played first party game, excluding acquisitions.
Oh, I quite like us having, I like us having other sides of a position on that. I don't know, so I'm going to say no. I'm going to lock in that like Gears. I don't think Forza's going anywhere. I don't think Fable does. I don't think Halo does.
No matter how old, if it was Forza Horizon, whatever, 4.
No. What's the point? What's the point? I think they'd
it'll sell.
It'll sell. Nah, it'd be shit. So no, I think that's not. This could be quite a fun exercise actually. That could be an entire episode of just like.
I feel like
this is the deep dive now, by the way, because of time and because of the amount of conversation we've had. This is our deep dive tonight.
Switch. We'll do Switch next week.
We'll do Switch next week.
I think on a previous system link, you were like everything's gonna go at some point.
I think, yeah, my position on that, if I recall, was that like everything is if games like Sea of Thieves and Hi-Fi Rush can go, and then the rumors around things like Starfield and Forza, however credible or not, I believe my point was that everything seemed like it was fair game to go. I believe that was my wording.
Okay.
That's backing up your point.
Oh,
Everything was fair game, right? To port to PlayStation. As opinions do, I am allowed to evolve. I think there are now. It was something I saw. You know what's influenced this is I saw something the other day where someone said it was again another rumored post, but it was about the response to Indiana Jones's PS5 port has apparently made Microsoft hit pause on some of their because of the reaction from the community and because they're so desperate for goodwill. I don't know how much stock to put in these things. Of course,
it was just Jeff Keighley. If they'd have just done it properly. And it wasn't like 3 months later. If it was 6 months later, or ideally a year later,
it was a year.
It would have been fine.
Think you'd have had the same conversation at all.
Just don't announce it before the game's even out, and don't get Jeff Keighley to like smile in the background while he's announcing.
One more thing, you know. Yeah, I agree, but I think so. Well, let's do it. Let's look at it. So, South of Midnight, no.
What are you saying? No,
it's exclusive. It's going to stay exclusive.
That's just you hope because it's your game of the generation.
No, I'm just saying what I think based on just pure conjecture. Pure conjecture. Actually, no, hang on. 100%. No, I need to revise that because it's a new IP and Compulsion are multi-platform.
Convinced.
No, they'll go to PlayStation. That'll go. So
so I'm saying it depends on how it lands. If it's a 90+ Metacritic game, I think it would be safe. Certainly for the short term being like 2 to 3 years.
I think if it's going to go, it's a year exclusive before it goes.
Okay.
If that's the intention, if they know it's going to go, these games get a year. Because the Indiana Jones turnaround thing has that actually. No, let's really solidify a position on this. I don't fully buy into the whole they're going to change their plans because of the response. What they are going to do is make the window longer. So the exclusive turnaround window is going to be longer for future games, even if it'll be a year. It'll be a year. Blade will be
Starfield. What's happening with Starfield?
Good content. Me just sitting and thinking. Because
Starfield should have gone already. I mean, I guess they're waiting for the DLC, all the DLC to drop, but I don't really because the first DLC was not great. So I don't know. Starfield for me. I think Starfield is the next one that goes. I think Starfield goes, and then Avowed will go a reasonable amount of time after Avowed has launched.
Yeah, I think here's another segue on this. Then I think Activision and Bethesda games are more likely to go multi-plat.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
New IP or not. I think
Well, and also studios that have a history of making third-party, multi-format games. So Obsidian, I think Obsidian games will be more likely to go.
Yes.
But then you end up with just the legacy because Microsoft weren't putting out many first-party games other than Halo, Gears, Forza for a long time.
And Fable.
And State of Decay.
Yeah. So I think something like Perfect Dark, I don't think goes multi-platform.
No.
I don't think that does.
I'm not sure there's that much interest in that.
Yeah, I think South of Midnight could. I think Fable won't. Just running down the list of other games. Gears and Halo are safe. Blade could be a shorter turnaround because of a Lucasfilm Marvel Games licensing thing.
It wouldn't surprise me if they follow the indie one, even if there's not a licensing thing. I think they'll
do that.
It,
which is actually, I think, a real shame because if PlayStation had Spider-Man, Xbox could have had their
really
Marvel
annoying.
hero. You know that one I think would be actually we talked about preserving the brand and them having the ability to sell these boxes long term, I think that would be a great way to keep people hooked in. So yeah, I think that's my position on it. I do think there are some red line games that won't go. I think Halo's one of them. I think if Microsoft stop making Xboxes, they won't exit the console space entirely. They will still they'll be a publisher. They've invested too much. So I think the moment where the floodgates truly open is if they stop making boxes. They become Sega. I think that's the key. And as long as they can still be happy with being the third place, with selling your 30 million, your 35 million boxes to your Game Pass subscribers, to your core faithful, and as long as you've got enough IP that are red lines, so Halo, Gears, Fable, Forza, stuff that would stick around, I think they'll be continuing as they are.
So here's a question.
This is great. I love this.
If
Speculation.
They stop making boxes,
mm-hmm.
Do you think they would be a PC exclusive publisher?
No.
And put some games on PlayStation? Or you think as soon as they stop making boxes, everything goes to PlayStation?
Mm-hmm. I don't think everything historically does. I think everything moving forward would. That's my position on it, I think. That's right.
For me, when they stop making boxes, you have a different company making Xboxes. Yes. They're not native Xboxes, they're just PCs.
They're just PCs
with an Xbox operating system.
Yes.
So for me, that when they stop making them, all that happens is Microsoft aren't losing money on their hardware anymore because someone else is making hardware, and Microsoft are actually getting money from like a license fee that whoever it is paying them. Yeah. So I don't know if that would, in my opinion, would change the landscape that much, because they'll be doing exactly what they're doing now, except Microsoft won't be making the hardware.
I think at that point, though, there'd be less of a market for physical boxes, because by that point, the cloud infrastructure would have taken over and streaming would have taken over. And I don't think people, a bit like sort of I feel like you see less and less third-party peripheral manufacturers, only really the big ones that make stuff now for the consoles. I don't think you see them going into that sort of like a third party making an Xbox equivalent. I think they'd be traditional publisher like Sega, because they wouldn't be traditional boxes anywhere at that point. At that point, we're extrapolating like potentially over a decade in the future, and probably more. So
I think for the cloud to take over, it's still going to be, because there's significant parts of even Europe that have terrible internet.
It's infrastructure that stops
good enough infrastructure.
Yeah.
And as much as Microsoft appear to be like losing interest in Europe, I don't think it's realistic for them to completely disregard such important markets for them.
I really think though that this is they've kind of, Xbox as a brand has now almost plateaued in terms of its console install base. I don't think we're going to see a sudden shift back to them as market leaders. So they might as well release certain key titles on multi-platforms to make some extra money, and then it becomes about services. If anything, they need to be ahead of the curve, get that cloud infrastructure mainstream and available, so that that could be their point of differentiation. Because like you said it best, I'm sitting here with my my PS5 and my Xbox here. They're just PCs. They're using off-the-shelf components with obviously elements of tweaking, but it's so much of what's in these boxes is just PC architecture. So
and next gen, they're both going to have handheld stuff, because they're just going to copy Switch. And then PlayStation probably won't be doing VR next gen. I'd be surprised. So like it's going to be so blindingly obvious that they're doing the same thing. So I'd like to see Xbox try and do something different. I wouldn't actually mind them having another manufacturer make their hardware for them, to be honest. As long as the Xbox operating system is intact. And it's
so much
that console experience. Is
and so much of it, I think, is about my library. I really loved being able to turn on my Series X, and then my Xbox library from like 2 generations was waiting for me. That's really important to me. Backwards compatibility, and they've really staked a claim on that about preservation. And I hope that's services aren't the thing they should be that should be their focus. I think maybe also I think part of my position on it is definitely informed by weariness. I'm so bored of the speculation about where these titles end up. Just make great games. I don't give a shit what plastic box I'm playing them on. And if it means that they'll make more money because they'll go as well, it's a business. It's all these fat fanatical console war baiters just forget that this is just a bunch of multi-billion-dollar corporations arguing over who's going to make more money. That's the stakes.
People care though because they spent £600 on their console or £900 on their PS5 Pro with its disk drive.
Crazy.
If the game that you were expecting to play on your PS5 Pro is coming out on PC and it's better on PC, that's just a bit shit for you, isn't it? And if you've invested in the Xbox ecosystem by buying the Series X and then, or whatever, the new Galaxy 2 terabyte one, which is basically the same price as a PS5 Pro, and then the Xbox ecosystem dies, or all the games go to PlayStation within, maybe in a couple of years' time, then you'll think, why did I buy that? Why didn't I buy a PS5 Pro, which is a better console? Or why didn't I buy a PC? You just feel like you're wasting your money. I think that there's definitely an element of console warring, but I think there's an element of people have invested. I've invested for the last, 15, 20 years in Xbox hardware and software. I don't want to see that. I don't want to have to exit that ecosystem.
No,
because I don't want to be. I'm never going to be able to play my digital Xbox games on a PlayStation. So if PlayStation becomes for me the best place to play the best games, which it's getting close to that, then there's a decision to make because I don't want to buy 2 next-gen consoles, but I also don't want to buy a PlayStation and then lose my Xbox library.
Right.
But
now, I think
at some point that's the choice.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I think we can separate those points, though. The idea of the ecosystem disappearing is abhorrent to me, especially with the amount of money I've invested in it and all the. This isn't a Stadia situation where people that are invested in that they maybe had a year or 18 months worth of purchases on there versus the 2 decades I have with Xbox. So that preserving my access to that in some form is going to be important, whatever that form looks like. Streaming stick. Accessing your library on PC.
Yeah, but that's kind of what I mean by disappear, though. I mean not being able to access it from my main console, having to put a streaming stick in to be able to play my Xbox games or something. Not easy like it is at the moment because it's on the Xbox and
No, and maybe that's everything. And that's the thing with game preservation, isn't it? That much like our older consoles, we're relying on the original hardware to access a lot of those games, GameCube games in particular. So having my Series X be the way that I then continue accessing Xbox games, you can stream. They've already proven that there's a future proof here because you can stream current gen games on an Xbox One. So the hardware's there. If this ends up being it, or the next gen ends up being it, or whatever they decide to finish, I don't think for us as people that have invested in it for a long time, there's the disappointment of it not continuing, but I don't see any risk of us losing access to the stuff we already have. For me, I just don't see that, given their sort of push in to preservation. The thing that perhaps I get weary about is this notion of if all the console publishers are still active, so it's a big if, right? But if you've got Xbox, PC, Switch, PlayStation, all actively producing games, and the game you thought would be exclusive to your chosen plastic box is also on PC and or PlayStation, okay. Because it is just about them making money. I've really gotten to the point where I'm like, fine, go for it. We can then, from that, then look at the ones that we think are likely and not likely to go anywhere else. And there is definitely a fair argument to be made that PlayStation have largely cultivated their dedicated fan base because of exclusive single-player games. There's no question about that brand is successful because of that strategy. Switch is the ultimate version of that strategy. So actually, in some ways, now that I'm saying it, it kind of circles back to your point. It's about the games. There haven't been enough reasons for people to jump into Xbox, whether or not the game goes elsewhere. But there's not been enough reasons to go, well, if you want to play this game, you gotta get into this ecosystem, whatever that looks like, whether it's buying a console, subscribing to this service, or having a cloud stick, whatever the version is, there isn't enough reasons right now to get into the Xbox ecosystem generally, I think. Maybe COD moves that needle. Maybe COD moves that needle, where you sort of people look at that. I'd love Microsoft need to shout about the numbers, and it's concerning me that it's been a week and we haven't heard anything. They're quiet. All those analysts predicting a 2.5 to 4 million shift in subs, and we've heard nothing. I think it really does boil down to the games, doesn't it? Is however you're accessing a console's ecosystem or a publisher's ecosystem, it's got to be about the software.
With the 360, they had the exclusives, and then they were going out and buying third-party exclusives because they knew if they could get something like Tomb Raider, that was traditionally a PlayStation game, and they could get that in addition to all their first-party games, that could tip people over the edge in terms of moving to Xbox.
Yep.
Now it's completely the other end of the spectrum. They don't have the exclusives. They don't have third-party exclusives, really, which I think is why they're in the position they're in. On the Game Pass numbers, I don't think they'll shout about it, because if they shout about it now and say, oh, we've seen an extra 2 million Game Pass subscribers, the problem will be in 6 months, because those numbers will go down again when all the COD subscribers lapse. I think it will be much more significant if in 6 months' time they say we've had, we're stable. We've had an extra 2 million Game Pass subscribers, and they're still. It's about who stays subscribed. The people paying whatever £15 for 1 month isn't good for them. They need those people to pay for multiple months. Otherwise, they've lost money basically on Black Ops.
Cannibalized sales. So, yeah. I mean, the PlayStation sales were still really strong from what we've seen. The breakdown, like 82% PlayStation, and that's physical only. That's not including any digital copies or Game Pass subs. So I think it's fair to say it's still done well. But you're right. I suppose there's an element of timing there. It's retention, isn't it? It's not just securing new subs; it's retaining the ones you got. And having that steady stream. That's the promise of having a first party that big, is that it becomes the Netflix model. It's a regular, steady stream of content. Every single month there's something, whether it's DLC for something, whether it's an old re-release of something that was never on a sub-service. There's got to be every month. First party can't go missing for a month, basically, if they want this to be viable and to continue to grow. Well, let's definitely call that our deep dive, because my goodness, we've massively gone over. And we're going to jump over and do a little bit of Black Ops now. We'll be back momentarily. Thanks everyone so much for hanging out in chat and for checking out our segue-filled episode of System Link. Where can folks find you, Mike?
Just the xboxguide.com. Not sure content pipeline for the next week, but stick around. I'm sure there'll be something going live.
Yeah, lovely. All right, we'll be back shortly. Brief intermission, and we'll be back with some Black Ops 6. And we are back with some Black Ops 6, playing some multiplayer. So, although somewhat concerningly, seeing a bleak black screen is not looking good on there. Why is that? Let me just do a quick reset-a-roo. Properties, deactivate and activate. There we go. I fixed it, Mike.
Nice.
I can't really test the audio balance right now. That seems to be, it would appear to be working correctly. Hopefully that's in sync. Otherwise that's a less than ideal finish. Oh, I've also got the wrong graphic on the screen. Can't have that. It's got to be system link. Can't be Burly Bird Live. There we go. Everything is well with the world. I thought we could just stick with Team Deathmatch to start with. And then...
Yeah, so how much of this have you played? I wanted to ask you before, but then I thought
I've done a little bit of the campaign. Haven't gone very far yet. Played quite a bit of multiplayer and haven't played zombies at all. So I thought we could maybe give zombies a shot at some point as well, just to see how we feel about that. Okay. I'll put a couple of different game modes in there. Yeah, I'll put a few of those in there. Definitely a little bit more. They've taken a lot of feedback from the beta about polish. I think it's definitely a little slicker. Some of the wonkier animations we were seeing, those weird celebrations at the end, have been kind of patched up now again, which is great. Again, I'm going to be going into zombies blind, other than I know it's not the terrible open world zombies from the last Modern Warfare.
I've heard good things.
Yes, it's round based. It sort of feels like World at War zombies mode, which is really cool. There's still the wacky stuff, it's like the mission objectives and the upgrades and stuff, but they've mercifully made it exactly what people wanted, I think, which is a round based experience. Going for some domination, baby. Oh, I picked up in spawn kill. Good start.
Yep. Enemy care package above.
I'm still picking my loadout. Oh no.
They're taking C. Losing B.
Pushing up to C. Oh, no way.
Taking B.
With their wiggly laser sight.
Incoming on your location.
I'm having a mare.
Hostile UAV established
Not
overhead.
anyone.
Securing C. Enemy CUAV
Taking this
inbound.
objective.
Charlie secured.
I like seeing people unnecessarily sliding and then I kill them very quickly.
Yeah.
Which is good fun.
Outpost available.
Ooh, a little double kill there. Oh, Mongoose
Securing
wrapping up.
zone A.
It took a helicopter to kill you.
Scout pulses online.
I have to turn
Tally,
all
one
the
shot kilo.
nodes off except for team deathmatch. Can't deal with them.
Oh, I'm definitely happy to do that if you prefer.
No, it's fine. Just find most people play it like that anyway. So,
I'll say
but,
this once. Do not fuck with me.
to be fair, just haven't given them a chance
Charlie.
previously.
Ah! Oh, blow.
Is that the helicopter again? Oh.
Yeah. I'm going to target it.
Enemy one shot kilo overhead.
Not enough people are shooting it.
Tally, one
They're
shot
taking
kilo.
There you go.
C.
Yeah, you better run.
Taking Bravo underway.
They've got C on our left. Pushing up here.
Taking B. Locking down Charlie.
Capturing. Keep an eye out.
C is
Charlie
secure.
locked down. There's a spy in our ranks. Watch your six.
Oh, fucker in the window.
Oh, I got sniped. Guy in the window, did you say? Because I think
Yeah.
he just... Yeah, he mashed me up as well.
Losing Bravo.
Heading to you.
Yeah, he's still in there.
There's one.
Coming flashed.
Flash. Oh, fuck.
Heads down. Sniper.
Oh, yeah, I didn't hit him once. I just shot his aura.
Come get some ammo.
Ah, fucker. So we need to get around the back of him, don't we?
Yeah.
Enemy UAV inbound. Hostile counter UAV established below.
Ah.
God, he must have quite a lot of kills.
Yeah. I'm going to try and head down the far right. You know, we went down the stairs and we got helicoptered. Might be able to get up behind him that way.
Yeah.
Taking Bravo underway.
I'm
Securing
on the
Alpha.
objective.
I've made it to the building.
Oh. No, I don't know if he's still there.
No, I think we fucked him up.
Yeah.
Controlling
Dread to
Bravo.
think how many people he killed.
Hostile UAV established overhead.
Capturing
Capping
A.
the objective. Stay sharp.
Coming to you.
We locked down A.
Nice.
Securing B.
Spawn swapped.
Losing A. Controlling Bravo.
Pushing into B.
He's back in the window.
Yeah. Oh, a guy on the ground by me. Just got flanked on the right. Need to get rid of that counter
Assaulting
UAV.
counter UAV.
There
Enemy
we go. Nice, with a
UAV
pistol.
Oh, it's terrible with a machine gun. He kept just strafing left and right. I couldn't hit him. Yeah, back still in the window.
Yeah.
Oh, someone
inbound.
else.
Heads up. Hostile care package
Oh,
inbound.
man.
We're losing Alpha.
It's DGB, isn't it? He's just absolutely
Yeah, the
ruining
other
this.
guy was there though. The
Oh, I
same guy
see.
from before.
Take it C.
I can see.
Ah. There's a guy there at C that's low.
Me.
I've got no health.
Enemy care package above.
Ah, fuck.
Losing Alpha.
Oh, terrible.
Losing A.
I want to push back round towards C, I think, if I can. Counter
losing
UAV is
Alpha.
really messing us up.
Ah, fucker. That Chaz guy.
I know. Developing some nemesises.
Yeah.
Enemy scout pulse detected.
Some nemesi.
Hostiles destroyed one of your assault packs.
Losing A.
Enemies have destroyed your assault pack.
I'm on the objective.
I'm on your
Taking
6.
Guy in here.
Capping the objective. Stay sharp.
Oh, no. Behind you.
Yeah, I avenged you. Oh, there's another guy up here. Oh,
Hostile UAV established overhead.
I just got killed by Chazzy Boy.
Yeah, this fucking sniper. Ah.
Backup's not coming. You want to get out of this alive? Better step up.
Always getting killed in the back. So annoying.
Damn turret kill.
Whoa.
Frag sent.
Yeah. You'd be pleased to know that one of the last kills of this game was chucking a grenade in the pocket of that sniper, DGP.
Ah, nice.
So I got...
I just saw, yeah.
And I did, because they've got a really nice thing with the grenade cook where it's like a circle that shrinks on the
Yeah.
reticule, which I really like actually. That's a nice feature. Surprised more games haven't done something like that.
Where are we?
You and I are in the ocean right now. What's this guy doing? I still feel like those ending screens are a little bit wonky. They're not quite
Even
there.
even my menu's a bit. The graphic in the background of the menu's a bit shit.
Is it? And actually, is the character model that's walking? You know, he's doing his searching constantly in a black
Yeah.
void. Is it a little bit jittery for you?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
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 He's a little bit juddered.
Like we said with Fragpunk, why is it not just rendered in advance?
Mm.
I know it's your character, but a bit weird.
But then some of these shots, it's like really, it cuts and it's really smooth, and then it goes up close
Yeah.
and he's like, he's shivering.
I love it when it's pop in and things.
Yeah. I'm so grateful for the map design though, because I've really every map I've played so far has had like obvious flanking routes, but it's doesn't feel like you're constantly having to check every direction. That was the problem with the
Yeah.
Modern Warfare levels, is they had so many pockets and little hidey holes. They encourage people to just camp, which is always a problem in a shooter, but it was magnified by the map design.
Reminds me of Rainbow Six, this map.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure a terrorist said, "Move or I'll blow our brains out," in this one. Pretty sure.
I feel like we're both going to get killed.
I was just thinking, I think you and I are running to our deaths. Possibly up ahead. I'm with you. Longest German is addicted to windows. And doors.
I think you knew that.
I did.
Where is everyone?
Don't know. Oh!
Claim the advantage.
Up high?
Ah,
Two on the balcony. Ah, yeah. So I've come in at the opposite end of that room. So they're on the balcony
Okay.
down here.
that guy was literally just camping there.
Yep.
They've taken the lead.
There's no cover. I don't know what they're thinking.
Think real
Oh, come on.
carefully about your next move.
Possibly behind us. Yeah.
Hostile
Enemy
shooter.
UAV inbound. Hostile care package inbound.
Ah, behind me.
Assault pack here.
Sharpshooter threat removed.
Hostile assault pack removed.
Healing up.
There's a really nice flank into that room. You know the guys that were camping on the balcony? There's an elevator shaft
Yeah.
underneath them where you can flank them on their left. You just like zip line
cool.
up. So if they do get in there again, we can have a word. Hi, hi, hi. Very tactical of me. It's going to be hot up here. I was wrong.
Hostile RCXD in your AO.
Enemies have destroyed the assault pack.
Sorry.
Using.
Watch out. Troy car. And a guy there as well.
RCXD
I'm not good enough.
I'll shot you in the back.
He's got another toy car. It's been blown up. Behind us on the balcony.
Balcony, yeah.
Yeah. Moving up.
It's all these doors on the side are just horrific.
Checking downstairs. Yeah, downstairs.
That's it.
There's one more.
Taking the lead.
Possibly
Stay
coming
on
from
top.
there.
Enemy.
Hostiles reclaimed the
Clear.
lead.
This is the bit where I feel like we're gonna die.
Yeah.
This heads up to the balcony.
Love it when happens.
Been avenged.
We're winning. Keep it that way.
Ooh, nice. Right, they're going to be coming from behind. Just based on the split. Yep,
Ground pulse available.
I was right. Oh, come on. Nice. Piddling their timbers.
Single
I'm
shooter.
gonna die.
We've given
Ah,
up the
so close.
He's gone feral.
lead.
Oh, there's a guy
Hostiles
prone
overhead.
in the background.
You're
He
falling
won't have
behind,
moved. I know
Crimson.
exactly where he is. I'm going to Vendetta.
Not if I die first.
I'm on your...
Hostile
Sorry?
RCXD in your AO.
I'm on... I'm on your Rainbow Six.
You see me?
Yeah. Oh, blood! Guy on the
dear.
balcony above. I'm dead. As you can see, didn't go well. Yes. Where was the guy you just killed?
Just in the lobby.
Oh, well done. Avenging. Yes.
Guy down the end.
Yeah.
How do we think again?
Ah!
Ah! Yeah.
I tried to I tried to throw it and fucked up. D-pad up.
Head for my waypoint.
Double tap for enemy in that location.
Very intuitive.
Just on your left. There's guys in that top office.
Oh shit, there's loads of them.
Yep.
How'd that kill them?
One down. Another one here. Ah! Thank you. Saved my bake.
Enemy RCXD detected.
Ah, there's loads, don't go out there. Toy car.
Yep.
Stay down.
Troy car's coming for you. I'm being shot in the bottom.
In your lobby?
Yeah, in the balcony, I think, as well. Oh, they're up. That was a nice little... We had a nice little stand there.
Yeah. Not often when you stay alive long enough for that.
Hostile spring mine.
Guy at the end there.
Hostile shooter.
Oh, in the window. gonna cover your 6. I've moved out towards the football stadium. Even though we're in a football stadium. What I meant was the pitch. Oh, another one here! Oh, there's another one prone in that room.
Ah, fuck.
Yeah, Feiji.
Yeah, I don't know how you got me there.
Triggering scout pulse.
Enemy UAV inbound.
Anytime, any place, asshole.
Yeah.
Hostile RCXD in your AO.
Is there one in here?
Hostile shooter.
Veilguard.
Yeah.
Oh, I hit him so many times. Jesus.
Hit him enough times that he died.
Wow. Just about.
Well, I mean, he did.
Move up, sniper is down.
Nice. Possible remote control car up here. Oh, there's 2 grenades coming at me. I think they're on the balcony above us.
There, brother.
It's gonna be ours.
Sending flashing flash.
RCXD,
Oh.
threat down.
He blew himself up. Pushing up. Oh,
Ah, thank.
Put this to bed.
Coming up from the bottom.
sorry, I died. Nice.
Oh my god.
The music. Two down the end. One there.
On enemy.
I'm shit.
Troops in contact.
Don't say yourself short.
Behind.
Oh shit. Immediate vendetta.
Nice.
Call me Mr. Wick. I'm dead.
Sending front.
Report to the nearest extraction.
Oh no.
I have to make a call.
Well, shit. Clean yourselves up. We'll get them next.
Should we attempt a zombies run? I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Let's just see what we're doing. Mason Blazer.
Railway. Getting killed. Is it like a frag hunt where we're always in the best plays as the victims?
Of someone else.
Yeah.
Fiji. I got a couple of kills on him though, which felt good.
Yeah.
I saw you had a great one in the restaurant bit. You piddled him, which was great. It was worth it. I'm gonna leave with party next gen. Okay, so I have no idea what I'm doing. Oh, there's two zombie maps at launch, which is handy. I think I'm going to turn off the squad fill. I'd quite like it just to be the 2 of us, so it scales to us. My starting loadout is underwhelming. I'll press and hold right stick to equip your melee weapon. Your dedicated melee weapon in game. Gonna have to just go.
Rather not.
Gonna just have to go default, I think.
Yeah.
Round base zombies. It's quite nice to be able to do a PvE in COD. I've always liked this conceptually, which we've never done it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's just not true. We must have played zombies at some point together. Maybe World at War. I want to say boarding up windows. I feel like I was doing
Yeah,
that
we
with you.
definitely did. I remember World of War. Yeah.
Yeah.
World of War was great.
Edit the pack of gobble gums in your loadout. To pick which gobble gums appear in your...
Security chief to new arrivals. Could have used you sooner, but welcome just the same. I'm in the mansion, command center. Injured, but intact. Most everyone else is, well, you've got eyes. Look,
Some
we need
wigglers.
to get this
Oh, they
situation
jump.
under control ASAP. Be ready for anything.
How does it? What's next? Using ladders?
Hey, just
Ah!
jumping.
One
Oh,
up here. One got up.
I don't like that.
Did a bit of damage from here. Oh shit. Do we have to worry about ammo, do you know? In terms of, can we run out of pistol ammo? Is
I
that
think-
likely?
Potentially we can. I don't know. It's round 2 already.
Fletcher to Alpha. 3 Janus science staffers are
Get
missing.
to the town as well.
somewhere in
Need to stop talking like this at some
We
point.
can't... I was just going to say, it's getting a little bit repetitive.
Their expertise
Ev-
to end this up.
Everything's going up at the end.
Just so surprised.
Some gobble gums.
With,
Activate bonuses,
on your right.
abilities, or effects. Yeah, sure. Oh, shit. I've got fists.
Can't deny that headshots
Oh, there's a lot
are
coming
the
from behind.
fastest way to put them down.
Yeah, might want to get. Oh, that's right. It's over.
That's what you get for acting like a fool.
The melee's pretty good.
I picked up some salvage.
Bonus points.
Ah, so we've got monies that we're earning, and we can activate, like, this thing, this big
Sorry you
generator.
came here yet.
Dark Ether Field
what it
Generator.
is.
Dissolve zombies with Dark Ether energy.
Glad it was you.
So it's created these, like...
Anything that wanders through those energy fields
Points.
is gonna
Okay.
wish it hadn't.
Oh yeah, that helps.
Oh,
Oh shit.
yeah, the melee's actually quite powerful.
I tried
Yeah.
to warn you. But did you
Okay.
listen? Hell no.
Ah fuck, there's loads up here. Coming down.
Yeah. Oh, they're coming down as well, but they're also... Oh, Jesus! Knifing. Grabbing salvage as well, which I'm guessing is going to lead us to upgrade things, maybe?
Do we need a better position than this? It's a bit terrible.
We need to move,
Ah,
don't we?
behind
To...
me.
Yeah. We need to move open to access new areas. Ah, okay. That's quite nice. I can pay half if I want to be stingy. There you go. So if you want to put the other half in that.
I don't.
Oh. Well, it's going to restrict our progression, isn't it?
Not if you just play the whole thing.
No, if you just stay in there, which I suppose we could do, I guess. Crafting table. You can... That's really handy. You can craft a bunch of things here. That's what the salvage is for. Crafting table. Oh, shit. Oh, this is getting a bit thrifty.
Yeah, move coming here.
Yep, on the way.
Butter.
Aye, aye, aye. Don't forget we can plate up, so press and hold Y to use your armor.
Oh shit. Okay,
What the hell's this thing? Oh my lord. We can back off, get back to the bowling lanes. Gives us a bit more room, spread them out.
Ooh, looks like you gored up your buddies a bit. Step the fuck back.
Oh,
That's
these
an
pistols
order.
are so shit.
Do with some more guns, couldn't we?
It's not to run out of pistol ammo.
Oh, there's a shotgun on the wall here.
Oh nice. Do it.
I think you could just buy it.
Alright.
It's over by me.
Whereabouts? Just...
I've tagged it.
Anyone looking for a wall
Yeah.
weapon?
A wall weapon. What is that? Yeah, that is
Pretty badly.
that is tagged on the map though, without me tagging it.
Wall weapon.
Oh
sighted.
yeah, okay. Wasn't watching.
Drink to
Ammo.
increase movement speed. I need more essence.
Tear them to pieces.
Ammo here.
Yeah. What's going on here? Ah, spiders.
Ah!
Good effect. Keep wasting those little shits on sight.
Where's grounded to arachnophobia mode? This would stop me playing
Great.
Zelda.
Ah, they jump at you.
Max ammo.
I think you just... One of them dropped a max ammo thing there and you got that for us. Should we head through here?
Yeah.
Spent all my money. I need to armor up.
I've got a grenade.
Oh, machine gun on the wall here.
Get it.
Oh, I don't have enough. Watch it. The pistol
The
isn't
gun's
really...
so bad compared to the melee.
Yeah, the pistol isn't really cutting it now.
Even this gun's not great. That sucks. Might get back to the bowling alley.
Just couldn't wait your
Yeah.
turn, could you?
I knew this up
Joining
was gonna
you.
get weird, but not that fucking weird.
Ah! Grenading.
Cool.
Impact grenade arm.
No effect.
Yeah, it actually caused more to come in.
Oh, they come through the little fucking doors. I feel like I don't need to ask this, but are there boss zombies?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I think we're only just scratching the surface of the enemy types right now. We're dealing with piddlers.
Oh shit, here we go then.
Armoring. I've head outside because I thought there's some...
Yeah, I need to try to make some progression, don't we?
another
When are you
locked
gonna
door.
get time to the crafting table? I don't get it. Is there a bigger lull at some point between
Potentially, yes.
rounds?
Armor on the wall here. Level 2 armor vest. It's cost $4 grand, but...
Double points.
Thanks, Jeff Steitzer. Oh, they're crawling out from underneath the house. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Heading back to the bowling alley?
Yeah, bowling. Oh, spiders!
Frag throw.
Oh, okay. The concussion grenade seems to be doing the trick.
Semtex out.
Oh, shit. They're coming from behind as well. The bowling alley is our place to be right now.
Yeah.
Throw in a Casimir. Enjoy the show.
And you can actually just glance at the
Awesome.
map to see if they're coming out from behind. Get
That,
in, mate.
that
Come on.
Casimir grenade is
Bonus
magical.
points.
That was some kind of pushover.
I've just got so
How do you
much
use
money.
the different grenade types?
LB and RB. LB for tactical, RB for explosive. I'm gonna grab the armor here.
Armor available here.
It's $4 grand, but
Can we move through here? This is
Yeah.
quite good. I'm gonna buy this. Oh shit, vault combination.
you just know that's gonna be money-tastic though, don't you? Or like weapons that are insane. It's gonna
Yeah.
get busy.
Grenade out.
Hard to get back to the bowling alley from here. Oh nice.
Oh.
Surprise,
Oh fuck, where
motherfucker.
did she come from?
Double
Oh shit, from behind! Oh!
Alright, I'm up against the vault.
You're not gonna want to get stuck in there in the next few seconds.
Am I the only good guy here?
Ah fuck, I'm in trouble here.
Clearing! Ah!
You
Ah!
were right.
I managed to get outside. I'll see if I can try and clear them. I've only got 10 bullets left.
Yeah, I'm out of ammo.
Nearest ammo station in the bowling alley, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm on 50%.
Bowling alley.
Thank you.
Usually mines are hard to spot, but whatever.
Nice.
That'll cover our backs as they're coming in. Oh, there's ammo out there as well,
Thank
actually, to
you.
be fair.
What's the thing between the two grenades?
That's the your special ability. So I imagine we have the same one. It creates like an energy mine. You plant it down and it like sends out pulses of electricity in a set location.
Spiders. How do you do that? Armored zombie.
LB and RB together. So you can place it at the top of the bowling alley. Buy ammo. Oh!
Behind me. I hate them sneaking around.
Oh! Well, that was crucial.
Jesus. So what was that? How did you get that?
It was one of the, you know the thing, sometimes they drop like double points or something like that.
Yeah.
I think I just picked up a nuke which kills all of them basically.
As soon as you do it, you have to deploy it.
No, as soon as you hit it, basically it just does it. Have you? Oh, it's an armored zombie here.
Yeah.
Have you got your energy thing? Still.
I used it.
Oh, you've
Wasn't
used it.
great. Don't know if I did it wrong.
So this is it. It's what old school zombies used to be. It's, you know, how many rounds can you survive? But now there's progression through the levels. I really want to see if we can get in this vault.
I know. It's got to get a combination from somewhere.
It's going to be in here, surely. Machine gun here.
Zombies coming out here. You know where I'm going.
Fucking
Yeah. That's it, you know. Go back to the relative safety of the bowling alley. God, the assault rifle's doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure if I've got the assault rifle, but my machine gun's shit. On your right.
Oh, yeah. 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 I haven't got any grenades or
We're in
anything.
trouble there.
Yeah, I've tried to circle round. Nice, that's going to be good.
max armor.
Nice. Wait, get them back towards the generator thing that we used earlier. It's active.
Do something like this in the actual town.
Exfil is available, Alpha Team.
It looks like there's multiple, like, we didn't have to go up that way. There's now another route here. There's also an exfil, I've just noticed, so we could just bug out and take our XP with us, I guess.
Do it.
Yeah, I'd be keen to now do that and just see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah? Just to kind of... Oh, shit, yeah.
Not very safe exfil, is it?
It is not.
Get out!
Max ammo.
Oh, man, big boy.
Sending Molotov.
A mangler.
Time we made tracks. Can we get an exfil ASAP?
Oh, sentry turret.
Prepare for exfil. Marking site.
Oh, we've got to travel to it.
Yeah.
High stakes.
I'll get the generator on again. Oh, it's cooling down.
Body shots are for rookies.
On the roof, is it?
No, it looks like it's on ground level.
Pinned down.
Oh, Jesus! Oh, God! I don't want to abandon you.
Do it.
Never. I've got around them. I've chased them up the stairs. Or led them up the stairs, sorry. Ah! Ah!
Those better be tears, I see.
I can't get out.
Use your plates if you can.
How do I get to the expo?
Follow me back towards that underground bit over here. That's it. That's it.
You got 30 seconds to catch that ride.
Oh!
Son.
Oh no!
Oh!
I didn't know the revive button.
Oh, that's great fun. I really like
15
that.
seconds. Get to the
Yeah.
helo.
Better than the actual multiplayer.
Do you think?
Yeah, I think maybe.
Cool.
Pretty good.
Pretty good fun, isn't it? And simple. That's what I like. And there's going to be a lot of things we need to discover with this, I think.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Could definitely waste a couple of hours on that
Yeah.
session.
Oh, shit.
Oh, so we also killed them. Cost them their lives.
We win. Mongus General with the E-limbs. Klingon with the essence.
Yeah.
Well, thanks everyone for tuning in to this latest episode of System Link. Really good fun actually sneaking. This is a late edition, sneaking in a bit of zombies in here, which is really cool. A bit of Black Ops as well. Just a bit of multiplayer. I'll get the description right eventually. Thanks, Mike, as always, for joining us.
My pleasure.
Always a treat. And we will, we will see you next time. Cheers.
See you later.